remind me again about that massacre we're not supposed to talk about. That was ordained by God too, right?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Saints Unscripted. Today, we're going to be doing a comments video in which we read and react to comments. We've done this a couple times before and wanted to revisit the subject.
Yay.
Yeah.
Take it away.
I want to share this one. It's the evidence Joseph Smith didn't write the Book of Mormon video. It was like one of our podcast ones with Jake. And it said, any Jane Austen novel. Oh, this is from, do we say the person?
Maybe
James
maybe
Vander
not.
Horn. Okay. Any Jane Austen novel is far more complex and layered and profound than the Book of Mormon. I love a Jane Austen stan. I'm a Jane Austen stan myself.
I think he's just in
But
the wrong
wow.
genre, if that's what he's looking for.
That could
That's-
be.
Huh? Wait, what?
If he's looking for like emotional Victorian backbiting, he's just in the wrong place, first and foremost.
I think he needs to look more into like dystopian type war books if you're wanting the Book of Mormon comparison. But
Yeah, pretty different.
yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. Like, I love Jane Austen too. I hear you, dude. But no, the Book of Mormon is better.
It's kind of an apples to oranges comparison, I think. A little bit.
It is, for sure.
There's room in this world for both. Let there be both.
Let there be both. All right, I got one for you. Okay, this was from our Do Latter-day Saints Believe That Cain is Bigfoot? Faith and Beliefs episode.
I
Number
bet that made some
205.
good comments.
Yeah, so this one is, the story is proof that Mormons have a history of propagating religious folklore. Absolutely.
Heck yeah. We love
Absolutely
folklore.
we do. Every religion has their own folklore, I think. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's stated like it's a bad thing, but like, far out, man. I like it. I like that kind of
I was trying to think of some good ones. The only one I could think of is someone telling me one time that there was a slot left empty in the Salt Lake Temple for elevators.
Yes, I've heard that.
I remember
Wait,
hearing that as like a
no.
kid and being like, wow. Okay, so that's one of those kind of like folklore things that was like propagated.
No, you know what's a big folklore? Is mission folklore.
Oh, yeah.
You serve a mission. You know what we're talking about. Mission folklore.
Like the
there are
three Nephites
stories.
showed up in an all-white van and they drew their swords. Just kidding. But yeah, you got stories
Literally,
like that.
how many? I probably wrote to my family once, like that I probably met one of the three Nephites.
The same mission stories kind of circulate through. Like, my uncle's friend's brother once
Yeah.
told me when he was on his mission 30 years ago that,
That's, yeah.
yeah.
that this happened here.
This is kind of just having, it happens in any organization.
Yeah.
Group of people. Bro, I like this person that spelled editing, E-D-E-T-I-N-G. Bro, the editing out of this world. LOL, good job. Just like
What if English isn't his
Yeah.
first language and you're just like
Roasting
shaming
him.
this guy?
I don't want to shame. I just like it when people get enthusiastic and like repeat the word that's misspelled. It's just got some funny vibes to
Some
it.
confidence to it.
That's a
Bro.
shout out to which video was this? Taylor? Probably
That was the
Taylor.
alien
make up
one,
for
I
it.
think.
Did Taylor edit that one?
My
Yeah.
bro with that comment, I didn't know library had 2 R's in it till I was like 13 or 14. So you can spell editing wrong all you want.
Oh, you thought it was library. Yeah.
It's embarrassing, Brett.
I know a lot of people say library. Library? That was a new one for me. Anyways,
Hey, there's some weird words out there. Debris, that one had me for a loop for a while.
rendezvous.
What?
Rendezvous.
Oh my gosh.
Or what is it? Epitome?
Epitome, epitome.
Freaking English.
I did not know how to spell epitome for so long.
That one was that comment was from the Aliens video, which Taylor edited though, which was Chef's Kiss. Okay, we got a shout out here for Don Bradley. In the podcast episode we had with him, between him and Jake. They said, "I love this interview. Of course you will be disappointed if you build your foundation on men, as in I think just humans in general, not
Yeah.
specifically the male
People.
gender."
Men.
Explained eloquently, Don
patriarchy.
Bradley, and doubts don't equal apostasy. Yes, that's an important principle to remember, that
Yeah, that's a way good
just
point
because
to
you have
point out.
questions doesn't mean you're an apostate.
Yeah, you can definitely question with faith. That's
Yeah.
a way good thing to point out.
I like that. This is from an episode with me and Sabrina. Sabrina and I. This is the Book of Mormon episode where we just talked about it. New member here. I've read the Bible and other ancient history books for years and decades, and I started reading the Book of Mormon last year. I can say without a doubt that it is true. It follows the same lines as scripture and other ancient texts. Joseph Smith did not know this. Example being the phrase, in the fullness of time. It's found in at least 6 ancient sources. It's found in at least 6 ancient sources.
Like that phrase appears not in the Bible, but it appears in other like ancient works.
Does it not appear in the Bible?
In the fullness of time, it might
The
be in
fullness of time?
Revelations.
Maybe. I think that things like that, like evidences like that, are great, but you got to make sure that your testimony is founded in something spiritual, a testimony from God.
Yeah.
They're nice.
And this person's approaching the kind of more the ancient history, scriptural context, which, I mean, if that's working for them,
there's a place for that.
That's great.
I think things like that are good in as much when someone makes a claim like there are no linguistic evidences of the Book of Mormon. There are still some unanswered questions about certain things about the Book of Mormon in relation to linguistics or anthropology, but there are also some good evidences, not for convincing power, but more as just like a response to that. Like, there's no evidence for this, but there is. It's not going to be what your faith is based off of, but there's stuff. I got one here. Bonus. I like this. Neither good nor bad, just different. The big question is, did the aliens evolve? If evolution is true, then the aliens had to evolve from space monkeys. I'm unfamiliar with space monkeys. If Evo is false, then aliens are in reality good, preparing souls, and bad angels messing with us.
Okay, so this is from the Did We Evolve video, first of all, to give you some context.
I don't know if that context helps unpack this.
It doesn't, but I just like it. The not knowing the video would.
The aliens had to evolve.
I thought it was the
space
aliens
monkeys.
video. That's funny. Did aliens evolve?
I don't know.
If evolution is true, then aliens had to evolve from space monkeys. Space monkeys.
There's
what are space monkeys again?
If you like mix water with those little, just kidding. That's
like, where is this going? You're so prepared to answer a question about space monkeys. Maybe we need to do an episode about this.
If evolution is false and aliens are good,
I think maybe there are just some false premises here in this comment. Like the train of logic may not be quite.
We are lacking context.
We might be lacking context too. Yeah,
I'd love to have a conversation with this individual.
He looks like a very interesting person to talk to.
You guys keep picking the positive ones.
I like his fedora.
Okay, here's a negative one.
Just what I wanted.
I don't know what video this is on, but the comment is, and this is something that happens a lot. Like there will be a video, but then the comments will just be completely unrelated, or just like finding things to complain about that have nothing to do with the subject of the video, which is just, it irks me a little bit. But anyways, this one is, remind me again about that massacre we're not supposed to talk about. That was ordained by God too, right?
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, okay, this massacre that we're not supposed to talk about, that there's a gospel topics essay about, that church historians have written 2 books about, that is talked about in the Saints volumes.
That we've done episodes on.
That we've done, also multiple episodes on, like that massacre. That massacre.
There are a lot of things the church could be more transparent about, but that's not one of them.
There's a lot of information about that.
That's such a go-to for them.
And no, it wasn't ordained by God. Of course, that wasn't.
Like, we know that.
By God. Like, we're not claiming that it was. Absolutely not.
This video is probably talking about something totally different anyway.
And this, for context, this is the Mountain Meadows Massacre, I think is what they're referring to here.
Continuing down the negativity train.
Yes, let's do it.
How my LDS mission triggered my mental health was the episode. And the comment is, what if the root cause for much of the mental illness is the fact that Joseph Smith and his strange history are really false? Polygamy, treasure digging, fraudulent BOA, Book of Mormon translation, conflicting first visions, zero anthropology to support Book of Mormon history. That last comment is kind of like what we're talking about before. Like, there is anthropologic evidence for the Book of Mormon. That's not going to be what convinces you or what your testimony should ever be based off of.
Well, it's just kind of funny, this comment, because it's only talking about these random parts of church history, as in like that's almost like saying like, I have anxiety because of something that happened 200 years ago with my ancestors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like it could, maybe this person's trying to say that like, because the church was started on these false things, that like it's the church that's causing my mental health issues. But like,
I think that this
they could have
person
pointed out other things.
I think that this person
I don't
is just coming from a position of a lot of pain.
Yeah.
I think that their feelings. There are people that feel like because they weren't taught these things on, in church on Sunday, or like blatantly and directly told, like, hey, there are 4 different versions of the first vision account that Joseph gave over a period of years. I think that because they weren't like sat down and told these things, they feel some betrayal when they find out about these things. And I can understand why that could cause some emotional turmoil. At the same time, there are people who are very well aware of these things, like us, I'm assuming, that haven't had the same result or haven't interpreted those events in the same way. So I think it's important to like leave room for people because none of us are forced into believing, right? Like that's a choice that God gives us to choose if we're going to believe or not. So I think it's important to like leave room for these people who choose a different path. And I hope that whatever is going on in this person's life, like I hope you get some help for that. I hope you get it resolved and come to some peace regarding it.
It's a very understanding
and are
perspective.
able to move on.
Yeah, that was very respectful of you.
I would just issue a small warning. Whenever looking at a group of people, their beliefs or their lifestyle, be very careful not to attribute mental illness in any people of that group, the cause of like beliefs or something like that. Mental illness often strikes people like indiscriminately. There are things you can do to manage it, to make it better, but like you probably didn't cause your mental illness. You can treat it, you can get it under control, and you can live your life such that you minimize its effect in your life, but like you didn't create your mental illness. You didn't. So
it's a complicated, like,
yeah.
You can't just be like, you have mental illness because you're ABC,
Yeah, be very careful about like pointing to the cause of someone's mental illness.
So true. We have a favorite commenter who we like to just share his comments just because of his manner of speaking is interesting. But this is for you, David. He said, Great. Dave, brother of Fun Tongue, talented brother. I wonder about the blunder of needlessly laying folktales at the feet of Spencer W. Kimball, and a cherished book that's helped save countless saints, similar to dinging Brigham Young for how he handled the Mountain Meadows massacre without having a deeper knowledge of his milieu. Thank you, Taylor. Fast and loose juice, a bit shy, good guy, a bit sly, good guy. The trend is to rend, to toss hot sauce. There needs to be careful. There is need to be. I struggle with like
it's a very
style.
Unconventional flow.
There is need to be careful with what is uttered and muttered, to be more responsible with this platform, to be watchful with word.
I feel like I'm being challenged to like a rap battle right now. And if that's the case, I will fail. I think I responded to this. We had a small exchange under this comment, but this commenter is usually, he says very favorable things about the show. So to give some context, this was on the video we did about Bigfoot. And I talk about how one of the books that perpetuates this idea that Cain is Bigfoot is The Miracle of Forgiveness by Spencer W. Kimball.
Really?
Yeah, because he includes in the book the journal entry or whatever it was from an earlier character that suggests that Cain was still alive in the 1800s or whenever. And so that's kind of like, that's a big reason why the Bigfoot as Cain story is popular today still, is because it was in a then apostles book. And so all I did was mention that in the episode. He felt apparently like I was criticizing the
Spencer W.
Kimball, which I guess there is some implicit criticism there that it perpetuated this story that isn't very well founded. But like I felt like I was pretty respectful. Like I didn't say, dang, Spencer W. Kimball wrote this trash book and put this story in it, because it's not like there's some things I disagree with in the book, but overall, like, it's great. But anyway, so he got upset about that. But like I don't know, I have to call it like I see it. And the other thing was mentioning Brigham Young there and the Mountain Meadows Massacre. Mm-hmm. And like, again, like he didn't handle it perfectly. He didn't. I don't think he ordered the massacre by any means, but like there are things that could have been done differently. I wish were done differently in the aftermath, even taking into account his contemporary context. So I don't know. I think that sometimes maybe not to generalize, but older, more traditional members of the church might struggle with taking issue with some past decisions from past leaders.
Okay.
But all respect for those people. We are all imperfect, and I'm sure they were doing the best with what they had at the time. Mm-hmm. That was a long response to that comment. But what did you guys think?
I do love when he said the trend is to rend, to toss hot sauce. Just like as if to say, like, to heck with anything that was ever done in the past. I think that's is that what he's saying?
I interpreted it as like
Salt
that
in the
I'm
wound?
that I'm like throwing shade at the prophets.
Oh.
But
to toss hot sauce, we can use that now instead of throwing shade.
Toss hot sauce.
Glenn, I don't
Tossing
know
hot sauce.
if you write prose
I see what you're saying.
for your
I like
job
that
or anything,
better.
but you have some very commendable writing skills. I enjoy reading this. Maybe consider creating a work of some kind, book, articles. Anyways, I like the way Glenn says things. It's
got a fan.
It's very unique.
it is.
It's
Very eye-catching.
I know.
It is.
As always, we love that you guys share your comments.
Time to go visit the chiropractor.
Okay.
Because she spines.
Uh-huh.
Give us good spines.
That
All
makes
right.
sense. I just
Don't
wasn't
toss
quick
the
on
hot
upkeep.
sauce. We love you all.
Thank you for joining us.
Bye.